Okay, so if you're over 40 and can't stop craving sugar, especially at night, it's not willpower, it's your hormones. So today I'm sharing the 4 steps I use with my clients to eliminate sugar cravings and lose stubborn belly fat naturally. So, hello, ladies. I'm Lucy Hutchings. I'm a registered dietitian, and over the past few years, I've helped hundreds of women in perimenopause lose 10 plus pounds and keep the weight off using my anti inflammatory approach. And today I want to help you understand exactly why your metabolism feels broken and how to fix it naturally. So let's dive in. I'm just going to share my screen here. Okay, so why your metabolism slows down during perimenopause, and this applies for postmenopause as well. So, first of all, estrogen drops. That's just what happens naturally. It's a natural part of being a female human, right? And therefore, our body stores more fat. That is just a natural process. And it especially happens in the midsection or the belly area. And I know, ladies, that this is super frustrating. And it's something that, though, if we follow the steps that I'm going to go over, it's something that we can improve. The other thing that happens during perimenopause and postmenopause is that insulin resistance increases. So that means your body has a harder time using the sugar that we eat for energy, and it tends to store more of it as fat. And that is a problem when you're trying to lose weight. The other thing that happens is that cortisol rises, which triggers sugar cravings and fat storage. So cortisol is our stress hormone, and so the more stress we have, whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, any kind of stress, even cutting calories can cause stress. That cortisol response from our stress triggers more sugar cravings. It's just a natural part of our body. And when we have more sugar cravings, we're going to end up storing more of those calories as fat. And then the other thing that happens as we age, especially after menopause, is muscle mass decreases. We lose our muscle mass. Actually, it starts when we're around 30 if we don't really put effort into keeping it up. So as muscle mass decreases, then fewer calories are going to be burned at rest because the more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning when you're just sitting there doing nothing. So the more muscle we have, the better. It also helps with blood sugar regulation. So the more muscle, the better. But unfortunately, a lot of times we're not really building muscle when we're working out. We're doing a lot of walking, running, or bicycling, or other cardio type activities, which is really great, really important, but it's not building muscle. So we have to do a combination of things. Okay, so the good news, you can turn this around with these 4 simple steps. These are the steps that we're going to chat about today. Step number 1 is balancing your blood sugar. So, like I had mentioned already, your insulin resistance increases, and that's not a good thing. We want to balance your blood sugar so that you're more insulin sensitive. So, some of the ways to balance your blood sugar are starting every meal with protein. We want to make sure that there's plenty of protein in your meals. You're going to be aiming for at least 25
Okay.
grams, more like
Yep.
30 grams for your meals
I did.
and for all of
That.
your meals. Andrea, I'm just going to mute you for a second, if that's okay. Okay. So you want that 30 grams per meal because you want at least 100 grams in a day. For most people, that's general advice. Obviously, I would have to tailor it to you in order to give you an exact number, but a lot of us are aiming for like 100 grams. So we also want to pair those carbs with protein and healthy fats. You do not want to eat carbs plain. There's a number of ways this comes up. So some of the things are like fat-free frozen yogurt, right? So now it's just all carbs because you took the fat out and there's not a lot of protein in it. So that's actually, I would recommend if you're going to have ice cream or some kind of frozen treat, you want the full fat version of actually any of your dairy products. So we don't want to just eat carbs plain. You don't want to just have that piece of cake without having a full meal with protein and healthy fats and veggies ahead of time. So there are ways to be able to still eat your carbs, but we want to always pair them with proteins and healthy fats so that it balances your blood sugar and you don't have those big spikes. All right, the next thing is to eat every 3 to 4 hours to prevent crashes. Now, you don't have to start the day eating right away. There's a lot of research behind some intermittent fasting that is helpful for your blood sugar. But during the day, if we leave it too long and have too big of a break, then we tend to end up having more cravings. We get too hungry. We might have a crash, a blood sugar crash, and that's going to lead to cravings. So having your meals more regularly during the day is going to help. And then the last thing for balancing your blood sugar for today is choose complex carbs over simple sugars. So carbs are not bad. Carbs are not something that we have to get rid of completely. We don't need to go on a keto diet. However, we want to choose the right carbs. So things like sweet potatoes, quinoa, wild rice. Those are great examples of complex carbs rather than simple sugars, which is going to be anything processed, like chips or anything with sugar. So that's not going to be helpful. An example meal for balancing your blood sugar is going to be salmon with quinoa and roasted vegetables with olive oil on top of those vegetables to get more of those healthy fats. You're getting protein from the salmon and some from the quinoa. You're getting healthy complex carbs from that quinoa. You're getting fiber and vitamins and minerals from the veggies, and you're getting lots of healthy fats from the olive oil. So that would be a great balanced meal. Step number 2 out of the 4 steps is to fight inflammation. Inflammation is something that we tend to deal with after 40, and it's something that we need to bring down in order for our body to release weight. So if we're trying to lose weight and we're trying to get rid of joint pain and all of that, we want to bring down the inflammation. So foods that are going to help with that are fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and even other canned fish like herring or I'm trying to think. So salmon, mackerel. Mackerel's another one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then leafy greens. That's helpful to reduce that inflammation. So spinach, kale, Swiss chard, lots of different leafy greens. Berries have great antioxidants. Again, it's going to bring down that inflammation. So blueberries, cherries, strawberries, things like that. And then adding some spices like turmeric and ginger, those help reduce inflammation. And so maybe you're putting that on chicken, maybe you're putting it in a soup or a stir fry. Those are great ways to use those spices. And then making sure you use those healthy oils like olive oil and avocados and avocado oil and coconut oil. Those are all the healthy fats that are going to help with inflammation. By the way, if you do want a copy of this Google Doc, and it's going to have my complete anti-inflammatory food list and meal planning templates, I'm sharing it in my free community. So everyone here, I'm going to make sure that I drop that for you before you leave. And for those watching this video, you can click the link in the description below the video to join that free community. Like I said, it's completely free. You'll get access to tons of resources and help you to lose weight naturally during perimenopause. Now, moving on to step 3, we want to fix your sleep and stress. That's really important. If you are trying to lose weight, these are things that are going to keep you stuck if you don't work on them. Number 1, have a consistent bedtime routine. So maybe that includes some journaling. Maybe it includes some stretching. But if you are consistent and you're doing it every day, even on the weekends, you're going to see a difference in your sleep quality and quantity. Skipping the caffeine after 2 p.m., most of us are sensitive at that point, and it could disrupt your sleep without you even realizing it. Having a good sleep environment, so that means a dark, cool room, is going to help you get better quality sleep and help you to stay asleep throughout the night. And I know number 4 is really hard, but no screens 1 hour before bed. This is going to help reset your circadian rhythm so that your body knows it's time to sleep. Sometimes we feel like that screen helps us to go to sleep, but in reality, it may help you to go to sleep, but then it gives you disrupted sleep later because you didn't make enough melatonin to get you through the night because the blue light from the screen was keeping you up or the content was creating a cortisol spike, stress response. And you can always consider a magnesium supplement to help you with your sleep. That's something you would take about half hour before you go to bed, and it would help keep your stress level a little calmer and muscles relaxed so that you can stay asleep. And then the last step is to work with your hormones instead of against them. So, doing things like stop skipping meals, because this keeps your blood sugar and hormones stable when you are eating regularly and not skipping lunch and going from breakfast to dinner. And I know sometimes people feel like, oh, well, that means I'm getting less calories, so therefore I should lose weight. But it doesn't work like that. We actually need to reach our calorie level so that our body doesn't feel stressed and so that we get enough nutrients throughout the day to support our hormones and everything else our body does for us. Also, include healthy fats daily. So, we don't want to go on a low fat diet. We don't want to avoid fats. Those fats are really important for hormone production. No matter what age you are, we're always making other important hormones besides just the typical hormones that we talk about during perimenopause. There's a lot of other hormones that need to be supported in your body all throughout your life. The next tip is to limit alcohol to weekends only. Some people even have to limit it even more than that and remove it. But this is going to help your liver to process your hormones properly. So the alcohol is just going to interfere and oftentimes leads to poor sleep. And it oftentimes leads to poor choices when we're out. And then the last thing, like I said before, don't restrict calories too low because this signals stress to your body and then it's not going to release that weight. Okay, so I want everybody watching this video to know that this works for anybody, and I want to tell Melissa's story. This is something that is this happened in real life to Melissa. She came to me exhausted, craving sugar every afternoon, which I know a lot of people watching this are going to relate to. She was frustrated that nothing was working anymore. She tried every diet, but kept gaining weight, especially in her midsection as belly fat. But using these 4 steps that we talked about already, she lost 21 pounds in 16 weeks. These 4 steps work because they address the root cause and not just the symptoms. Remember, small, consistent changes create big results, and you don't need to be perfect. We just need to be consistent. So, ladies, if you're tired of fighting your body and ready to work with your hormones instead of against them, I currently have 2 spots open to work with me one-on-one, where we will together create a personalized plan that fits your life and gets you real results. And there's a link in the description below this video to book a free 15-minute call. We'll figure out exactly what's been blocking your progress and map out your next steps. Remember, your body isn't broken. You're not too old to feel amazing again. You've got this.